Hey, this is Heather from the Renaissance English History Podcast, and this is your Tudor Minute for October the 7th. Today in 1571, the European Allied powers defeated the Ottoman Turks at the Battle of Lepanto. This was a really interesting battle for England because it saw Elizabeth joining the Catholic powers to defeat the Ottomans, who were threatening Europe not only through the Mediterranean but also through Vienna. Lepanto was the largest naval battle fought in Europe since antiquity. Over 400 ships were involved between both sides. The striking thing also was the amount of hand-to-hand combat between the two parties. The ships merely acted as floating land for the infantry to fight. The Holy League won. It marked the end of the Ottoman expansion into the Mediterranean. The Christians had twice as many guns, 1,815 to 750. The galley ships were rowed by slaves largely, and the leader of the Turks, Ali Pasha, told his Christian slaves that if he won, he would grant them their freedom, and if not, God would give it to them. The battle was so bloody that the sea turned red. The Ottomans lost, and they lost the majority of their fleet and their great galley ships. Isolated fighting continued through the evening, even when it was clear that the Ottomans had lost. The elite Turkish soldiers, called the Janissaries, kept fighting to the death. Supposedly, at some point, the Janissaries ran out of weapons and started throwing oranges and lemons at their Christian adversaries, leading to awkward scenes of laughter among the general misery of battle. At the end of the battle, the Christians had taken 117 galleys and 20 galleots and sunk or destroyed 50 other ships. Around 10,000 Turks were taken prisoners, and many thousands of Christian slaves were rescued. The Christian side suffered around 7,500 deaths, the Turkish side about 30,000. News reached Elizabeth in early November. She ordered bonfires lit throughout London, and the Bishop of London circulated prayers of praise and thanksgiving to be said in parish churches as well as at St. Paul's. Much of what we know about Lepanto from the English perspective is from Richard Knowles, an English writer who wrote the General History of the Turks in 1603, the same year that James I came to the throne. This was also the same year that Shakespeare's Othello came out, featuring a Moorish prince in Cyprus, so interest in the Turks was growing and was part of the popular culture, reflecting the interest that James himself had in this topic. James VI of Scotland, later James I of England, of course, wrote in 1585 a poem about Lepanto. One of the stanzas says, "Go quickly hence to Venice town and put into their minds to take revenge of wrongs the Turks have done in sundry kinds." That's your Tudor Minute for today. Remember, you can dive deeper into life in 16th century England through the Renaissance English History Podcast at englandcast.com, where there is a series on Lepanto and the relationships with the Turks.